Well, my name is Ligia Trejo. I was born and raised in Honduras. I lived there until I was barely 18. Actually, I moved to the United States. And then, I want to say probably like a week after coming to the United States, I started my student career at Florida International University, where I studied mass communications. TV production actually was my focus. Graduated in 1999 from TV production at Florida International. And it was great, actually, going to Florida International, because it gave me so many opportunities that I don't think I would have had if I would have stayed back in Honduras. I mean, growing up in Honduras was amazing. There's a lot of stuff that are like, it's lacking in Honduras, especially opportunities. So I'm really blessed and grateful that I had the chance to come here. Nonetheless, experiences that I lived as a child were, still are, it really shaped me. And I don't think I probably would have had the same experiences, or I would have had the same situations, if you want to call it somehow, that I had living in Honduras. It's coming to the United States. Obviously, there's a lot of cultural differences, even though that, especially South Florida, is very Hispanic oriented. It's heavily Hispanic. It's still not the same because the culture is different. Sometimes you become really Americanized, and it's funny because when I go back to Honduras, there's more of like a culture shock when I go back, because I've become so much from here. I mean, I've been living here for more than 25 years, I think by now. I can't believe since 95 to now. But definitely, I think that your perception changes just because you evolve also as a person. Times also change. And I know that the same way that people change here, also they change back in Honduras. Going to college was amazing. One of the things that I probably would have liked is probably having more of that college experience that perhaps, you probably don't find as much in FIU as you would find in other universities like UF or FSU or one of the universities that have are like in college towns. FIU is more of a commuter university, and I live with family members. So that's probably one of the things that I miss the most. Nonetheless, I had a great time. I met great people. Like I said, I met people in college, they're still my friends, and that I got to work with, and that taught me a lot of things. Especially, made it easier for me to adapt to a new environment coming to the United States. I always recommend having a college experience. I understand that not everyone has the chance or the opportunity to actually do it. So I see it as, if you can, absolutely do it. It's not only about the academics, it's about the experience, it's about the people you're gonna meet, it's about what you're gonna live through. And actually, I see going through college, and especially that first associate's and bachelor's degree, I see it as like a proof of resilience, if you want to call it somehow, more than academics. It's a moment in your life that you get once, and nobody can take it back from you. So I absolutely, completely say do it, and I understand that times have changed. Nonetheless, back when I was in college and doing my bachelor's, I think the experience is the same as the college experience. What has changed a lot has been technology has made things a little bit easier. Let's say I remember, I think it was like 1996 that I got my first email, and it was not if I wanted to do email, and I didn't even know what to do with it. And right now, everything is through email. Nonetheless, it's, even though technology and the environment and how you communicate is probably different, but the experience as a whole, it's still there. And I highly recommend everyone to go through it, just because it makes you grow, it forms you, as every other stage in your life does. This also contributes to what you will become in the future. Well, definitely, like I was saying, my first job, you want to call it, actually was an internship, a production assistant. I started at MTV Latin America, and that was completely through FIU, through a recommendation letter from my TV production professor. So that's how it started. So I think that if it wasn't because of that, I would have not made it throughout, up the ladder in my career. I started in production, and I was an editor at some point, and then I went more towards the management aspect, and I ended up in sports management, if you want to call it, and especially, gender roles don't actually help much when it comes to sports. But I think it's, I made it through. I really enjoyed it, and I think having the education that I had through college, and like I said, it's not only about academia, it's the experiences that actually going through university, and then I had a master's degree, and now I finished my doctoral, that shape you and actually made me go and perform my job as a sports person the way that I did. Well, I just changed my career. I just did a career change. Like I mentioned, I completed my doctoral last year in August, and I just started my career as a professor. And I do some consulting also on the side. But the idea is to continue teaching, and I love mentoring, just because life has given me so many things, great things, positive things, that I think it's my duty to share what I have learned along the way with especially a new generation, and those who are willing to listen to me, and hopefully write some more and teach, and like I said, mentor. Well, absolutely. At the beginning, everything is hard. There's always a learning curve for absolutely everything. And the fact that I spent so much time doing television, which I remember at the beginning was really hard as well. So is this, being a professor and trying to, especially with technology, trying to get used to all this technology has, been a huge learning curve for me. And dealing with the students and trying to teach them, in the most proper way, and have them actually pay attention and their willingness to learn. So absolutely, there's a huge learning curve, and I don't think it's going to end here. My next semester, there's going to be another thing, and the next one, and the next one, because all the groups of students are different. So like everything in the world, everything is hard at the beginning, but once you get stable and go with the flow, it just hopefully gets better.
At home that actually supported me through all this process and thought I was crazy. And well, I guess I am a little bit, but I made it. For all your support. So thank you so much for all that you did for me.